YouTube channel. I'm Nancy Ogutu, and I'll be speaking about the most important part of K1 visa journey, which is the interview. If you're preparing for your own K1 visa interview, or you're just curious of how it works, this video will walk you through what to expect, the type of questions that you might be asked, and the tips that will help you feel more confident on your big day. So now that you're here, let's get started. The visa interview is the final step of the fiancé visa process before you get approved to travel to the US, and it usually takes place at the embassy consulate of the beneficiary's country. So the following are the documents you need for your K1 visa interview. You need a valid passport, you need appointment letter, you need DS-160 confirmation page, you need Form I-134F affidavit of support with supporting financial documents, you need a birth certificate, you need police clearance certificate, you need medical examination results, you need proof of the relationship, you can carry photos, chats, call logs, and if they've been sending you money, you can carry photocopy of the messages. And don't forget your letter of intent to marry. Carry your own letter of intent to marry with your signature. Carry your fiancé letter of intent to marry with their signature, just to be safe. So I feel like visa processes are so exaggerated, because tell me why. I've been preparing for an interview for almost 8 months just to be asked like 4 to 8 questions in less than 3 minutes, because all visa interviews take between 1 minute to 3 minutes. So I will take you through my process, questions I was asked, and how I answered them. So at the embassy, the interviewers sit like bank tellers. So I get to the window and she goes, "Hi, how are you doing today?" And I go, "I'm fine." And then she goes, "How did you meet your partner?" And then I go, "We met on a safari while he was visiting Africa." And then she goes, "How come?" And then I go, "We met through a mutual friend who was the tour guide." She goes, "Are you relocating with anyone?" And then I say, "Yes." And then she goes, "Who?" And then at that point, I realized that I missed the question. And then I tell her to pardon me. At that point, she was asking me if I was relocating with anyone on a K2 visa, which I was not. So if I was relocating with any kids on a K2 visa, I could have said the number of kids I was relocating with. Then she goes, "When did you see your partner last?" And then I say, "Just right now before I entered the interview," because I was so lucky that my partner accompanied me for the interview at the embassy. So I just saw him few minutes before I entered the interview. And then she goes, "Do your partner send you any money?" And I say, "Yes." And then she goes, "How much?" And then I quote the price. And then she goes, "Do you have any evidence or documents that can show your partner send you money?" So I had a lot of documents. I carried all the possible documents just to be safe. So I go ahead and hand over copies of my M-Pesa messages, Sendwave messages, and Western Union messages that my fiancé have been sending me money through the years. And then she goes ahead and gives me a green form. And then she say, "Don't sell your household stuff, don't quit your job until you receive a confirmation from the embassy." And that was the end of my interview. I feel like there's still a lot of possible questions that might be asked at the interview, and I was not able to share all of them because I was sharing my personal experience. So if you have an upcoming interview or you're preparing for an interview soon, please do a lot of research and find out about all the possible questions just to be safe. And remember, preparation is key. Carry all the evidence and proof of the relationship. Be confident and genuine. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe, comment, and like. See you on the next 10. Bye.